Hey guys, me, Christian Janicki, back with another video. I'm back at y'all one more last time tonight before I go to bed. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody who made my day and made it good. And I just want to say that I enjoyed the day. It was good. I watched TV. I watched Garage Flip. I watched Austin Kyle and Austin Kayla. I watched the Toy Show. The Fam 2016, I watched Granny Monsters live stream, I watched the Fry Life, I watched Mo Sargi's video, I watched the Chipper Guy, I watched Casualgamerreed. I watched a little bit of WickedJuggalo777 Gaming&More live stream for a couple minutes. Watching Hillbilly and the Wife right now. And don't know what else is going on tonight, but I gotta go to bed and I'm just agitated. I don't know why, but it's alright. I can get through this. It's alright, I'll get through it. I always do.
This is gonna burn like some bitch, I'm telling you, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it at all, dear. Now, let's get off of this.
I watched Outlaw's video yesterday, a day ago. Big Doug Vlogs, Backwoods Boys, Dysfunctional 3, King Stanlow, Hook 'em in the Mouth Kayak Fishing. I just want to give a shout out to Mo Sargi, oh my gosh, G Team Paranormal Investigation, the Fams 2016, WKCR Productions, shout out to WickedJuggalo777 Gaming&More, shout out to V10 Beetle, shout out to Jenny Sorcy, shout out to Hook 'em in the Mouth Kayak Fishing, shout out to Kidbehindacamera, shout out to Garage Flips, shout out to Craigslist Hunter, shout out to Real Fishing Addicts, shout out to the Hillbilly and the Wife, shout out to Mr. Jackel the Clown, shout out to Grimm's Toy Show, shout out to Cab7, shout out to my Geist, shout out to that Chipper Guy, Shout out to Joseph Vasquez. Shout out to Austin and Kayla. Shout out to Jesse Ron USA. Shout out to Outdoors World. Shout out to Charlie Chill. Shout out to Rebose Tube. Shout out to Catfish Dipper. Shout out to Who T Who. Shout out to the Mitchell Family Reality Show TV. Shout out to Lake Fork Guy. Shout out to the Cyclist Series. Shout out to Granny Monster. Shout out to the Fry Life. Shout out to Candy Times. Shout out to Swedish ASMR Fairy. Shout out to Mom the eBayer. Shout out to Player YOLO. Shout out to Mo Sargi. Shout out to Windy City Bastion. Shout out to Crystal Hill Random. Shout out to Scrap Vulture. Shout out to Swamp Picker. Shout out to Juggalo King Gaming&More. Shout out to John Breakdown Gaming and Sports Podcast. Shout out to Backwoods Boys. Shout out to Lead 8540 or 8541. Shout out to Scott Martin. Shout out to Casualgamerreed. Shout out to All-Star Geo. Shout out to John B. Shout out to Outlaw Dipper. Shout out to Lunkers TV. Shout out to VCG Construction. Shout out to the Fry Life. Shout out to Skittles18 Wins. Shout out to Jackie Lee Peterson. Shout out to Texas Scout Treasures. Shout out to Allie Knight. Shout out to Brittney Nicole channel. Shout out to Brittney Nicole Richardson. Shout out to Desi Lynn. Shout out to Joseph Vasquez. Shout out to Coke TV. Shout out to Granny Monster, Lead 8541, Cabin's Corner 72. Shout out to a YouTube named Pooh. Shout out to Southern Life. Shout out to Redneck Nation. Shout out to Redneck TV. Shout out to Chris Dips 1. Shout out to Mudjug 1. Shout out to Ethan Riddle. Shout out to the Crafty Trucker. Shout out to Honey Scatsy. Shout out to I Believe in Ghosts. Shout out to Chase Dips. Shout out to Catfish Dipper. Shout out to Kyrie Irving Got Fame. Shout out to the G Team Paranormal Investigators.
We'd love to have all y'all on all of those, so you can stay, just stay in contact with us more. So you're more.
Shout out to Eastern Shore Redneck 13. Shout out to Town Juggalo 3317.
Guys, go to rednecknationgear.com and look and find you some bad ASS stuff. And when you do, use the code Hillbilly20 and save yourself 20% on your order every time you order.
Shout out to Gibby ASMR. Shout out to the Fams 2016.
That's right. Redneck Nation, baby. Right. Or you can go to toughguy2.com and use the code Hillbilly10 and save yourself 10% on some dip.
Get some of the best tasting backer on the
Smokeless backer. I think the lightning and
Shout out to female ASMR.
First actual big thunderstorm.
It is lightning too. We love y'all so much.
Very much.
And we're so
Shout out to
thankful and grateful for each and
Dumpster
every
Diving and
single
Stilettos.
one of you. Y'all have changed our lives.
Shout out to the
I
May
know a lot of
Minaj.
you say, you know, you've
Shout out
changed
to
our
Nick and
lives.
Andrea Hills.
I look forward to your videos
Shout out to
every
Brandon
day.
McCann.
Thank you for uploading. You know, you guys have changed our lives too. You guys truly matter to us. That's why we try to comment back to you as much as we can. That's why we try to talk to you on Facebook as much as we can. Because we truly care.
Shout out to
about
Candy
you guys.
Times. Shout out to Envy Whispers ASMR.
That we can travel around
Shout out to Ohio Dippers 69.
and I'm not talking about a meet and greet at some big
Shout out to the Simple Mama.
and have a big picnic, you know, dinner together. I mean, really hang out. Yeah, because that's how we are. I'm not fancy.
Shout out to Ethan Riddle.
We do a meet
Shout out
and
to
greet.
Lake
I
Fork
want it to be
Guy.
somewhere
Shout out to
somewhere
Mr.
outside.
Jackel the Clown, which is my friend Josh.
On a mountain by the ocean or in somewhere, at least in a little bit of nature.
But we love y'all. Thank you.
Shout out to Dysfunctional 3.
Supporting us, supporting our channel, watching our videos. Also, guys, please, when you subscribe,
Shout out to Chris Dibs 1. Shout out to TSS NCS. Shout out to Alexis Butcher. Shout out to Boss Lady HD. Shout out to Roman Atwood Vlogs. Shout out to
He done likes, we like them likes. I love seeing them likes.
Me too.
And also, you know, on Instagram and Facebook, I've started posting some pretty
Wapo Gaming.
Yeah.
Shout out to Caden Wiley. Shout out to DSS God 21. Shout out to Chorin Daily Life. Shout out to the Richest. Shout out to F3 Lads. Shout out to Apex Predator HD. Shout out to AP Backing. Shout out to Dat Saints fan on YouTube. Shout out to Peanut Blade 1960. Shout out to Doug Barrett 619 Part 2. Shout out to Alex Vlogs. Shout out to Alex XCFFXXX. Shout out to Lance Stewart. Shout out to Brian Marquez. Shout out to Georgia Boy Down South. Shout out to Pissed Off Redneck. Shout out to Dulce Andrew Plays. Shout out to Phase Rain. Shout out to Fire Ninja 30. Shout out to Nicholas T-Car, Player YOLO, Buggy 2988, Knife Guy Productions, Lake Fork Guy, Mark Nandes, Southern Life, Redneck TV, 1320 videos, Audio Story Market, ADA Alabama Discoveries and Adventures. Shout out to Claytis McFarland channel. Shout out to Brain Half Cooked. Shout out to J&M Outdoors. Shout out to I Am Wildcat. Shout out to Fishing Advance. Shout out to Kiki Aburame, Kiki Vlogs. Shout out to Nova Dragon. Shout out to QTube. Shout out to Rewind Remix NCS. Redneck Nation, hope you're doing good, guys. Shout out to Hook 'em in the Mouth Kayak Fishing. Hope you're doing okay, brother. Chris Dips 1, Mudjug 1, hope you guys are doing okay. Jesse Ryan, I love your videos. And, awesome stuff. Mom the eBayer. Sorry I missed your video today. I'll watch it first thing in the morning. Redneck TV, you're cool. AJ the Hogfather, Albert Porty, Alex Ponce Gaming, Alex Vlogs, Amy Actually Vlog. Thank you guys, bye.